thought I would just make my own video because it was clear people weren't always following what I was saying, and some people didn't even seem to understand which technique I was referring to. Okay? The technique in question comes out of what for most people is the third section of the dummy form. It just depends on how you chop it up. But it's from here where you're rolling, 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 strike, come around, boom. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, boom. Alright? So it's that diving bong over the top. Some people exaggerate it more than others, right? I've seen it done pretty exaggerated where they're here and it's this diving down to come around. Okay? Diving down to come around. And I've never understood that or how that's supposed to work. Never seen a good explanation for why you're diving with the bong. Okay? Doesn't make good sense. Simplest, straightforward explanation is that you've met a lot of force that's forced your bong sow downward. So your bong sow moves downward as you deflect something. Okay? That's valid. But if you've done that, you wouldn't try to come around to the other side. So to take that as an explanation from this technique, you have to completely separate it from the technique that follows. Because if your force is going downward, your momentum is going downwards, there's no way you're going to reverse that completely and then lift with the ton sow. That just is not going to work. If you are forced downward like that, you're going to flip and come over the top. That's why you do all these lop-dog drills, right? If I'm going downward, I'm going to come back over the top. I'm not going to try to go downward and then lift to the other side. That's nonsense, okay? I've always thought a better option in this case was I'm rolling along and I drop just enough to clear, and then I do the stepping, pressing bong sow from chum cue. Boom, boom, right? You see how that works? I clear. Here's my chum cue step, big bong, and I turn. And in that case, my momentum is going up, and it stays going upwards. So it makes sense. I've bong sowed the guy's arm, and then so I've lifted it a little bit just by the virtue of I'm rising, and then I turn it over. I'm never going to go downward and then upward. I'm going to go upward and keep going upward. That's how it works. And this is right out of the chum cue form, where you're here and you go boom, boom, right? Lift, and then you're doing a ton sow. And technically we drop in the form to set up the next bong sow, but that's easily interpreted as being boom, boom, right? I lift, and then technically I'm dropping because I'm turning my bong sow, but my momentum is still going upward. I lift, and I ton sow. Boom, right? Not boom, boom. That's not going to work, all right? So I guess you could say this is somebody forcing your bong sow down, and you've learned to do that, and it's completely separate from the following move. Okay, maybe that's the way it's supposed to be. Makes more sense to me to do this, okay? It's right out of the chum cue form. Now the other explanation is, everybody acknowledges that this is a wrong side bong sow, right? Because it's on the inside. Wrong side meaning, if I bong sow this arm and this arm is still free, that's a bad spot to be in. It's on the wrong side. So if I've done that, I have to immediately get out of that situation. So I turn it into the ton sow and I'm on the outside and taking the guy's center. So it's like an oh shit move. I've done something, I find myself having the bong sow here, so I'm immediately going to turn it, so now I'm on the outside and back to an advantageous position. But it wouldn't drop, and it probably wouldn't even go straight across. If you're caught in a situation like that and you're forced to do a wrong side bong sow, your hands are most likely down. I can't think of a good situation where they would be this high and you would have to either drop or even go straight across. It's probably going to be you're mixed up, you're doing something, and all of a sudden here it comes and you're like, oh shit, wrong side bong sow, turn it around. So it still makes better sense to do that little drop and lift. Because that's how you're going to use it, right? So one of the other explanations is, well, this arm is just in the way. In application, it wouldn't be there. And so this is artificial in that you have to come over, and you can smooth it out. I can be here. I don't have to do this exaggerated diving motion like you see a lot of people do. I can be here and just step and come straight across. Yeah, so I agree with that explanation too. It's not meant to go down, that it's a false impression because this arm is in the way and we have to clear it. Because I can do it with minimal downward motion from here, like that, right? From here, boom, boom. That's a good explanation too. But again, I see too many people doing this kind of thing because their arm's already been extended with the strike, right? And then they go, that makes no sense. Here, clear, step, turn. That makes sense to me. Okay? And I've approached this from 3 different lineages, looked at it from multiple people, so you can't accuse me of being an armchair martial artist, okay? It's bullshit. It's just that people not wanting to address the issue, the question. One guy said, I hate to even bring this up, it's meant to be something riding up his bong sao and then he turns it over. Like, what the hell is that? Something riding up his bong sao? If you're in a situation where you've allowed something to ride up your bong sao, yeah, you better turn it over because you screwed up. You should never allow that to happen. But it's neither here nor there. That's my thoughts on this. And like I said, I suspect it's just been in the form that way for a couple of generations now, and people just accept it without questioning it. That's the way it is.